What if I told you that one day, perhaps sooner than you think, aging could become a choice? Imagine a medical breakthrough so profound, so revolutionary, that we could simply stop getting older. No more wrinkles, no more declining health, just an endless horizon of life. This isn't just about living longer, it's about changing everything we understand about society, economics, politics, and even what it means to be human. Are you ready to dive into the most incredible what-if scenario ever? Because today, we're counting down the top 20 mind-bending consequences of a world where humans stopped aging. Get ready, because your mind is about to be blown. Coming in at number 20, the most immediate and perhaps terrifying consequence: global overpopulation. If no one dies of old age, birth rates would suddenly become the only driver of population change. Can you even picture it? Cities would swell, natural spaces would vanish under concrete, and the sheer number of people would strain every resource imaginable. We're talking standing room only Earth, folks. This isn't just about space, it's about the very air we breathe and the water we drink becoming precious commodities. And that leads us straight to number 19, unparalleled resource scarcity and environmental strain. With billions, then trillions, of immortal humans, our planet's finite resources would be pushed to their absolute breaking point. Food, water, energy, raw materials, everything would become fiercely contested. We'd need revolutionary leaps in sustainable technology just to keep up, or face a future of endless conflict over dwindling supplies. The very existence of our ecosystems would hang by a thread. This is a battle for survival, not just comfort. Sliding into number 18 is a subtle but profound danger: stagnant innovation. While experience is invaluable, without new generations challenging old ideas, progress could slow to a crawl. Imagine the same minds, with the same paradigms, dominating every field for centuries. Would we still be pushing boundaries, or would comfort and established knowledge become a barrier to truly disruptive thought? The old guard wouldn't just be metaphorically entrenched, they'd be physically eternal. This isn't to say innovation stops, but the urgency might fade. At number 17, prepare for the complete overhaul of our education systems. Traditional schooling, designed for a limited lifespan, would become utterly obsolete. Why cram for 20 years when you have millennia to learn? Lifelong learning wouldn't be a buzzword, it would be the only way to thrive. We'd see an explosion of personalized, adaptive education, constantly updating skills and knowledge over vast periods. Forget degrees, think ever-evolving expertise. The concept of a single career path would be utterly laughable. It's truly exciting. Number 16 reveals a stark reality: the immortality gap. Who gets access to this life-changing technology first? You can bet it won't be everyone simultaneously. The wealthy, the powerful, the connected, they'll be at the front of the line. This isn't just about having more money, it's about having more time, more opportunity to accumulate even more wealth and influence. It would create the most profound class divide in human history: the immortals versus the mortals. A truly terrifying prospect for social equality. This leads directly to number 15, the chilling reality of ethical gatekeeping. If immortality is a limited resource, who decides who gets to live forever? Governments? Corporations? A global council? The very idea is fraught with unimaginable moral dilemmas. Would it be based on merit, genetics, social contribution, or sheer luck? And what about reproduction? Would having children become a privilege rather than a right to manage population? These aren't just hypotheticals, they are fundamental questions about human value that we would be forced to answer. At number 14, prepare for a complete transformation of family structures. Imagine children growing up with not just parents and grandparents, but great-great-great-great-grandparents, all alive and well. Family trees would become sprawling, multi-century sagas. The dynamics would be incredible. Imagine your great-great-grandma giving you dating advice from the 22nd century. But also, the concept of inheritance and generational wealth transfer would become infinitely more complex. Generations living side by side for millennia, truly mind-boggling. This brings us to number 13, fluid relationships and evolving social norms. When "till death do us part" is no longer a certainty, what happens to marriage? People might form bonds that last centuries, or perhaps relationships become more transient, knowing there's always more time. Divorce rates might skyrocket initially, then stabilize as people adapt to multi-century unions. Even friendships would evolve. Imagine having friends for 500 years, watching entire civilizations rise and fall together. It's a fascinating, terrifying, and utterly romantic thought. At number 12, brace yourselves for eternal leadership and the rise of the gerontocracy. If politicians never age out of power, imagine the same individuals, with centuries of experience, and potentially, deep-seated biases, holding on to the reins indefinitely. While wisdom is a virtue, continuous generational turnover is crucial for fresh perspectives and adaptation. We could see governments become incredibly stable, yes, but also incredibly resistant to change. Revolutions might become a thing of the past, or become incredibly violent. And that leads naturally to number 11, the slowing of societal progress. While individual innovation might still occur, the pace of large-scale societal and political change could drastically decelerate. Without the natural cycle of generations bringing new values and demands, entrenched systems and ideologies would be incredibly difficult to dislodge. Imagine waiting 200 years for a major policy reform. Social justice movements would face an uphill battle against leaders with millennia of experience in maintaining the status quo. It's a double-edged sword, stability versus stagnation. Kicking off our top 10, a massive one, economic upheaval. The concept of retirement? Gone. People would need to work for centuries, constantly res-killing and adapting. What happens to job markets when no one ever leaves? Unemployment could skyrocket for those without adaptable skills, or we might see highly automated economies where work is scarce. The very idea of economic growth would need a total reevaluation. Pensions? Social security? Forget about it. This is a complete paradigm shift for the global economy. Pure chaos or pure genius? At number 9, one potential, and perhaps necessary, solution to the economic chaos, universal basic income. If jobs become too scarce due to automation and an immortal workforce, providing a basic living stipend for everyone might be the only way to prevent mass destitution and social unrest. This could free people to pursue creative endeavors, lifelong learning, or community service without the pressure of a traditional job. It's a radical idea now, but in a world of immortals, it might just be the bedrock of a functioning society. Imagine the possibilities. Number 8 delves into the psychological, existential drift. Living for centuries, even millennia, would profoundly change our relationship with purpose. What motivates you when there's always tomorrow? Would boredom become the ultimate enemy? People might experience profound shifts in identity, serial careers, and even serial personalities, constantly reinventing themselves to stave off stagnation. The human psyche is not designed for eternity. The burden of endless time could lead to widespread ennui or even madness. It's a truly frightening thought, isn't it? But wait, at number 7, there's a hopeful counterpoint, reinventing purpose, or the serial life. Facing existential drift, humanity would surely find new ways to thrive. People might dedicate centuries to mastering a single art form, then pivot to scientific research, then volunteer for global exploration. Learning new languages, cultures, skills, not just for a career, but for the sheer joy of existence. The pressure to make the most of your one life would vanish, replaced by the freedom to explore every facet of human potential. An amazing opportunity for growth. Crashing in at number 6, we have the New Earth imperative. With billions of immortals and finite resources, colonizing other planets wouldn't just be an option, it would be a fundamental necessity for our survival. Mars, the Moon, asteroid belts, humanity would rapidly transform into a multiplanetary species. This would kickstart the greatest era of space exploration and engineering in history, driven by sheer demographic pressure. Imagine entire cities under domes on alien worlds. The future of humanity literally depends on looking beyond Earth. It's exhilarating. Building on that, number 5 is interstellar expansion. If we conquer our solar system, what next? The boundless cosmos beckons. Immortal humans, with centuries to plan and execute, could embark on interstellar journeys that would be unimaginable with finite lifespans. Generation ships could become century ships, with crew members living out the entire journey. We might become galactic nomads, spreading life and consciousness across countless star systems. It's the ultimate destiny for an immortal species, transforming us from planetary inhabitants to true cosmic citizens. At number 4, a profound philosophical shift, the value of life and death. When death is no longer inevitable, but rather an accident, a choice, or a rare pathology, our understanding of it changes completely. Would it become trivialized, or would it be revered as the ultimate sacrifice? What about the right to die? Would it become a central human right? Life might feel less precious, or perhaps infinitely more precious as a thing that can be prolonged indefinitely. This is a complete re-evaluation of our most fundamental concepts. Truly mind-altering. Punching into the top 3, a truly terrifying prospect, ultimate wealth concentration. If the wealthiest individuals accumulate capital for centuries, their economic power would become literally unimaginable. We're talking about individuals or families owning entire planets, controlling global, and even interplanetary, economies, and wielding political influence far beyond any government. The immortality gap would become an unbridgeable chasm, creating a new breed of immortal titans who effectively run the show. Forget billionaires, think trillionaires, with endless time to compound their fortunes. Gulp. Our runner-up, at number 2, is the inevitable rise of global governance. With immortal populations, interconnected economies spanning star systems, and existential threats like resource scarcity, individual nation-states as we know them might become relics. A single, powerful global, or even galactic, governing body would likely be necessary to manage resources, arbitrate conflicts, and coordinate humanity's long-term survival strategies. This isn't just about diplomacy, it's about the very structure of power becoming unified to ensure the species' eternal existence. One world, one purpose, one leadership, for millennia. And finally, the number 1, most profound consequence of humans stopping aging, humanity's evolved identity. This isn't just about living forever, it's about fundamentally changing what it means to be human. Our drives, fears, aspirations, and relationships with the cosmos would be utterly transformed. Would we remain human in any recognizable sense after millennia? Or would we evolve into something entirely new, post-human, cosmic beings, driven by a quest for knowledge and experience beyond our current comprehension? The ultimate question isn't, can we stop aging? It's, who do we become when we do? What a thrilling, terrifying, incredible future.